Algebra 1. Today we are going to watch a very brief video on something called point-slope form. This is a form that is different from slope-intercept form, which you already know about, and the two of them are related to each other, however. So we're just going to introduce this idea and then we'll talk more about this tomorrow. So we've already learned about slope-intercept form. Today we will learn how to write the equation of a line in a different way. Just like slope-intercept form requires your slope and your y-intercept, point-slope form needs a point and the slope. Okay. So this is what point-slope form looks like. And it looks really complicated, but it's really not. All you're going to do is take y, and you're going to use the opposite of your y-coordinate. That's what this minus y1 means. And set it equal to your slope. And then you'll have parentheses x, and then the opposite of your x-coordinate. This is that minus x1. So this y and this x I've just circled, those will always be in your equation. Okay, and the other numbers, these guys, are ones that you'll be filling in. Alright, so let's try it. Okay, so the problems we're going to do today, you'll have a point and you'll have a slope. I'm going to go ahead and label xy, okay, or x1, y1 if you would like. So your equation always starts with a y, but it's not going to be y equals anymore. It's y and then the opposite of your y-coordinate. So my y-coordinate is 8, so I will use a minus 8, because that's the opposite. Equals, next is my slope, parentheses, x, that always stays in x, and then we're going to use the opposite of our x-coordinate. This is a -2, so I'll use a +2. This is point-slope form, which we will abbreviate as PSF, point-slope form. Okay, let's try another one. This is x1, y1. Start with your y, opposite of your y-coordinate, equals your slope, parentheses, always an x, opposite of your x-coordinate. So this is a 5, we will use a -5. Okay, there's no distributing, there's no solving, this is it, point-slope form. The way I remember it is point-slope form has parentheses, P for parentheses. Excuse me. Alright, let's try another one. x1, y1. You have y, and then the opposite of your y-coordinate, so +10, equals your slope, parentheses, x, opposite of your x-coordinate. So this is a -1, it becomes a +1. Alright, so your signs are just changing, that's it. Do not distribute, just leave it. Again, that's PSF, point-slope form. P for parentheses. Okay. Alright. Y, opposite of our y-coordinate, -6, equals slope. Notice the slope stays the same, parentheses, x, opposite of your x-coordinate. Alright, next. Y, opposite of our y-coordinate. Well, 0, you could put +0 or -0, or you don't have to put anything at all, because 0 doesn't have a sign. So it could just be y equals here, but again, you could have +0 if you want. Slope, parentheses, x, opposite of our x-coordinate. Okay, and again, these are all called point, slope, form. Alright, last one. Go ahead and pause the video for a second and try this one yourself. Go ahead, really pause it. Pause it. Go ahead and pause it. Okay, try the problem, and then check back for the answer. Alright, so welcome back. Your answer should be y + 6 equals -8, parentheses, x - 7. Notice again, we're using the opposites. So -6 becomes +6. 7 becomes -7. Alright, so again, that is called point slope form. It is actually very easy to convert from point slope form, PSF, to slope-intercept form, SIF. All we have to do is distribute and solve for y. Okay, so you'll notice all three of these equations are in point slope form because they all have the parentheses. So all we're going to do is distribute and then solve for y. Please make sure you distribute first. That step has to happen first. Okay, so I'll go ahead and distribute. And then all we have to do after that is just add our 5 over. Negative 14 plus 5 is negative 9. And then you have slope-intercept form. So this is SIF, slope-intercept form. Alright, again, you're starting in point slope. Distribute first. Six times 15 is 90. And solve for y by subtracting your 10. 90 minus 10 is 80. Okay, one more. Go ahead, start off by distributing. Remember, if it's a fraction, you can use your calculator. 1/4 times x is just 1/4 x. But 1/4 times negative 4, if you can't do that in your head, is just negative 1. And then move your 6 over. Careful with your signs. Y equals 1/4 x minus 7. So that will be your final answer. Alright, so we're just going to do a little more if you flip the page. Now we're going to combine these two steps. First, we're going to write the equation of the line in point slope form. Then we'll distribute and solve and write your equation in slope-intercept form. So again, point slope form is the one with parentheses. Slope-intercept form is the one where we're solving. Okay, S for solve, P for parentheses. Finally, we're going to identify your slope and your y-intercept, and then we're going to graph, just like you did on your quiz. Okay. So alright, here we go. X, Y. Point slope form, this is the one with parentheses. Y, and then the opposite of your y coordinate, equals my slope, parentheses, x, and then the opposite of your x coordinate. Alright, that's point slope form. If you're asked for point slope form, you just leave it like that. That's it. But now we're asked to go to slope-intercept form. So now we need to solve. So I will distribute. Make sure you do that step first. And then I also need to add my 2 over because I need to solve for y. So my slope-intercept form is y equals 1x, 5 plus 2 is 7. Alright, so now this is something that we can graph, and you just did this on your quiz. Your slope, m, is 1. Your b is 0, 7. So that's your starting point. We'll go up to 7, put a dot, make sure you're on the y-axis, slope of 1, up 1, right 1. And then go back and reverse it, down 1, left 1. And align with arrows. Okay, so that's what that's going to look like. Okay, we'll do one more and then we're done. Start with point slope form. Again, you always start with a y, opposite of your y coordinate, so plus 8 equals your slope, negative 1/2, parentheses, x, opposite of your x coordinate. Okay, point slope form has parentheses, so that's all we're going to do for that. Now we're going to convert to slope-intercept form. This is where we're going to solve. Distribute. Negative 1/2 times negative 4. Well, negative times a negative is a positive. This is really the same as saying half of 4, which is 2. And then remember, we are still solving for y. So subtract your 8 over. Negative 1/2 x, 2 minus 8 is negative 6. So here is slope-intercept form. Now we're going to go ahead and graph. M is negative 1/2, which it should be because we were told it was negative 1/2 up here. Okay, same here. Our slope was 1. We should get a 1. And y-intercept will be 0, negative 6. Okay, so remember, start at your y-intercept, your starting point, down on your y-axis. Careful with your slope. It's negative, so our line should be going downhill. Down 1, right 2. Okay, don't go left. You're going to make your line go the wrong way. Down 1, right 2. It is going downhill. Now reverse it. Up 1, left 2. And a line with arrows. All right, there you go. So this was your introduction to point slope form and converting to slope-intercept form. Tomorrow we will pick up at number 3, and we will also move on to another note sheet since we will be ahead. Okay, so I hope you have a great night. This is the only homework you have. You do not have to do anything else. All right, have a good one.